Hello everyone, MikeMoneyGMR here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Legend of Dragoon Muted Edition. Now, I say that as a joke because it is true that once again the audio is gone, but don't worry about it too much, it's not a big deal. I forget what's inside that. I think it's a healing item, if I remember right. And, you know, just a cool little thing, and so I decided to get into a little fight here just to see if I can try and use up some items or something like that, you know. Yeah, these enemies here are nothing special. They are strong as fire, of course. That's pretty obvious from their name. Um, Other than that, they're not too hard to take out, as you saw. I don't remember why I was just sitting here. I think I was debating about what to do with Lavitz because, oh yeah, I wanted to change around the camera to try out something. And it did work out, sort of. It was a little harder than if I remember right, than I expected, but it still worked out pretty well in the end, as you saw. Anyway, so as always, this area seems to be pretty straightforward for the most part. Like, I don't remember much about it legitly, but thankfully you didn't miss out on a whole lot. Like, this one's only about yeah, it's about 26 minutes or so of no sound or commentary. And when we hit that point, I'll stop because then my past self will come back in and he'll explain what happened, basically. Because I cut the video at that point, I believe. Or something. Like, something happens and, like, I come back in and kind of explain what happened. But, like, it's so weird that we are here and I'm like looking through my items right now. I'm like, what could I potentially get rid of? You know, I think I end up discarding the charm potion because those are useless to me. Ugh. And I also look at all these other items, you know. The total vanishing we probably could get rid of. I was like debating about it. I don't know if I actually ended up doing it or not. But they're pretty useless for in my opinion, because you're not really going to be using them that often. And yeah, it's another Spear of Frost, which is kind of hilarious. I think I did make a joke about that. I was like, oh my god. The one thing that I bought a whole bunch of in preparation of this place is something I end up finding, you know. And once again, we got to go back into the menu, get rid of something else. So I think at this point, I do actually end up getting rid of the Mind Purifier, which is ironic considering what ends up happening. I get another Mind Purifier. Not only that, but actually the Mind Purifier ends up being an item that you actually want. Like, it's actually something you might want to hold on to. So it's pretty ironic that I ended up getting rid of it, you know, instead of holding on to it. So yeah, that made me laugh a little bit. As usual, I don't know which battles I was gonna, you know, cut out or not. Like, this one has a new enemy in it, so it turned out okay. Oh yeah, and we had that new status ailment. I think that is considered I'm trying to remember what it's called. Anyway, we decided to test out Spear Frost just to see how effective it is against fire enemies, and yeah, it kills the shit out of that guy. I think it's called Knockout though, and like, you won't get up if you get attacked or anything like that. It's either Knockout or Stun or something like that, but Unlike other games where if you're stunned, you can get back up if you get attacked. This one just holds you there for a while. Like, you can't even go off of what like the thing above you means. Anyway, though, I don't know if anything happens from this one. Yeah, so we move on, of course, as always. I don't know if this is actually the right way or not. I don't actually remember. Oh yeah, this is actually the way for a treasure chest, and then you just turn around and go back. Oh yeah, panic guard. It's another thing you might want. I don't know if you need it, but like it could be useful is what I'm trying to say. I don't even look at it, which is ironic for me because I usually will look at new items to see if I've seen it before. Oh yeah, we see this guy in the background there, right? He starts kind of walking around and stuff. Remember him for later. He's actually important. Not the most important, but important. Oh yeah, and here's me saving, so, and of course not using another save. So this is my proof that I would not have been able to just go back and redo everything that got lost, unfortunately. And I don't have memory card space really for me to have done it, like multiple save files, even though you're only allowed 3 anyway. So I would have had to take and be like, oh man, I'll just have to, erase everything. Now, if you do run into those fish, they do actually count as a battle. Because, like, you won't get into, like, random battles here, I don't think. Because I think your triangle stays red the entire time. It's just you have to... It's like if the fish hops up when you're on the platform, they attack you. Pretty much. They're nothing too difficult, though, so it's kind of ironic that they have them, attack you at all. It's kind of like that lake scene where, like, while you were going through the lake, those fish would jump out of the water, and you're like, why did those guys not attack me? Oh, and I also made a joke about how they attacked the guy who's resistant to fire, and I thought that was kind of ironic. I mean, yeah, it still does a pretty hefty amount of damage, considering since it's magic-based damage, but, still... Anyway, here, I don't know. I think I finally managed to get this again. Yeah. So that's good. It'd be nice to finally get him a new weapon. Oh yeah, and then that's just my luck. Since it counted that attack I got before as the same attack as the one that came up, it just brought me back into it again. I think I said I was going to... Thank you very much, computer. I think I said I was going to cut this one out, but for the sake of, commentary, I'm going to go ahead and leave it in because why not? So, as you can see, we got lucky that time and just took them out immediately. So that was a nice little touch as well. Anyway, as you can see, they do stop kind of spawning after a while, and you'll be able to move on. For the most part, though, if you do want to... if you do want to fight them... What is this feeling? It's calling me. Shauna, where are you going? Yeah, she just takes off and you have to chase after her. Actually, I don't know if you have to, but the ideal thing to do is to chase her. You were being called by this? I don't know, but when I came here, I didn't hear the voice anymore. Is that alive? Looks like a stone statue. Don't go near it. I feel something's wrong. Listen to Shauna. This Faraj is still alive. Faraj? You don't know about it? Okay, I'll explain it to you. You know about the dragon campaign, right? The Winglies were outnumbered, so they used this creature called Faraj as their trump card in the war. Just as humans use dragons, Winglies use Faraj. I thought the dragon campaign was over 11,000 years ago. How can this thing still be alive? I love that animation of it moving. I would say it's due to a hatred of humans or a vendetta against us Dragoons. We gotta settle this. Or let's run. Too late. Now, this fight is actually pretty interesting because it's another one of those fights that has multiple targets, but one, big boss character, right? And it does this really annoying move where it literally takes like a huge chunk of your health away, as you see there, right? For the most part, though, you'll be fine. Like, you don't have to worry about it too much. I go ahead and use my Dragoon right away, though, because might as well, right? I mean, this is considered a boss fight, so might as well take advantage of the situation. And I think I go ahead and use, his magic flame shot. This thing, as far as I know, it's not like weak against any particular element. Maybe if you have some kind of light-based attack, it might be weak against that. But other than that, most of your attacks are going to be pretty good. Yeah, but it only did a whopping 40 damage, so it's really not the most amount of damage you could possibly do. But it's a start. Now, I think I end up having Rose. I was like debating about it here. I was like, to have her do her Dragoon or not. Because I was thinking, should I heal her, or try using her one healing ability that she has that also does damage to the enemy, Her drain attack, basically. Usually I think drain attacks are kind of stupid, to be honest. But when you really think about it, it's actually a pretty good idea to do damage and also heal yourself when you think about it. Once again, the weapon doesn't even really hit. It just kind of sits there. But I mean, it works, right? Who cares if it's not impaled into the enemy? That's more of a censorship thing, if you ask me. So yeah, see, that does a whole lot more damage, which is kind of interesting considering. But I mean, at the same time, that's good for me to know because, you're like, oh, well, what attack should I use next then? Well, poor Lavitz, he just has to do a regular attack here. Yeah, she nearly dies there, which was pretty interesting. Then I get lucky here and he targets Dart instead of her again. And he actually ends up taking a little bit less than what she took from it, which is kind of cool. Now, if it hits Lavitz, it takes a shit ton of damage, if I remember right. So you definitely want to be careful of that. In fact, I think at one point I ended up having Lavitz just defend a lot of the time. because of the fact that I knew that he wouldn't be able to survive most of the attacks. And I love his way of like attacking. He like pulls himself up to you and then all of a sudden just like slaps himself back. It's like, what the hell? But you know, whatever. At this point I decided to try to have him use one of our abilities. If I remember right, the one I use doesn't actually work out that well, surprisingly. Yeah, see, it doesn't work out that well. Most items, attack items, I don't think do much damage. You're better off just like beating up on them with your main attacks, especially if you don't screw them up like I'm prone to do. Eventually we do, yeah, destroy his arm, which doesn't immobilize him, I don't think. Well, actually, no, it does, but like it it doesn't render him unable to do his most powerful attack, which kind of sucks. I think at one point I was like, I wish I would have, had a better attack than, the obvious double slash, but I didn't, of course. And also that status ailment he just inflicted us with was confusion, of course. And yes, that totally sucks because I believe you can actually attack yourself if you're not careful. So yeah, I don't go ahead and check it out to make absolutely sure, and then when I find out that yeah, that's what it is, I go ahead and get rid of it, right? I think I might have accidentally hit the runaway button or something there because like we started the runaway animation. I don't actually think I mentioned it or anything because I don't think I actually noticed that that happened until just now. So that was a kind of interesting little thing. I think I go ahead and get rid of Lavis's confusion as well, just to be on the safe side. As far as I know, it doesn't do anything too dangerous. Like, if anything, it probably won't let you do your special attack, you know. But I think I go ahead and just do a regular Dragoon attack here instead of the magic spell, since it didn't do that much damage, of course. Now, I can't remember if this is the one I screwed up or if it was another one. Because I remember I got confused on how it worked on one of them and just totally botched it. But I might be thinking of another episode. No, I just go ahead and use the flame shot. Wow. Okay. I think this attack is kind of funny though when you really consider it. It's just kind of hilarious. I'm glad it was just the fight against this guy though that ended up not having the sound to it, because it doesn't really bother me that much because this fight didn't really last that long. Like really, as you saw, his body was that like red. You could actually just take out the body, and I think that's all you needed to do. I think I actually said that during the original recording as well. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try taking out the body just to see if that's the thing that you have to do. So I think I take a risk, and no, I actually have regard. I was going to say, I think that taking the risk and just having her attack would have probably worked out in the end. But, oh well, right? Yeah, I go ahead and heal him up here too. As necessary as that really is. Whatever though, it's not a big deal. I mean, we do have that happen again. This time it gives us fear. Fear does exactly what you would think. It lowers your attack power, and I think it also messes with your defense as well. But I go ahead and have them attack anyway, because I'm like, it shouldn't take too much longer. See, like I said, it took 180 damage from him. Isn't that insane? But yeah, this fight, I think it's almost finished if I remember right. Come to think of it, I don't think anybody actually dies during this fight either, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, so the body's defeated. And so at this point, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Because you know how you would think, hypothetically, since the head is up in the air, that it's impossible to hit with your 3 melee fighters. It's actually not. They took that into consideration when they were like, oh, well, we'll just have it where the animation attacks the body. Speak of the devil. Attack the body and, go from there. I actually think I made a joke about that actually on the thing. I was like, well, what do you know? It actually works out though, because the great thing about it is that it removes the status ailment. So I'm not too upset about, that happening. Because originally I'd be just like, shit, that's horrible. But because of the fact that I would have had to have used an item to get rid of that status ailment, that kind of pleased me a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'll be fine with that. That's okay. Well, let's see here. She has 10. Yeah, and it takes 10, so I go ahead and use that. Again, not necessary, really. It's not really needed to use this spell. But just because I love the animation so much, I go ahead and use it. Oh boy, so we're definitely nearing the end of this now. So, I'm trying to debate on when I should actually kind of do my, post outro type thing, basically like being like, hey everyone, this is it. But for the most part, I don't know why I keep going after the hands. I mean, like I said, it doesn't change the battle at all if you do. Whew. I don't remember if I used that or not. It's not like it's actually necessary to use that. I think I actually ended up using this item though, because like I said, I was afraid that I couldn't reach him with my base attack. And then I found out it only does 11 damage, and I'm like, well, what a frickin' waste, And that's when I discovered that, oh, you are supposed to just attack it. So that was actually kind of a funny little thing to learn. Be like, well, shit, I could have been attacking it the whole time, and instead, here I am being a little doofus and trying to use, some other way of attacking. Oh yeah, this is very interesting. So I guarded, right? And so I'm like, oh, this will be fine. No, he still takes a pretty hefty amount of damage from that. Yeah, so he still takes 90 damage. It's like, jeez. It's just like, are you out of your mind? That is just horrible. I don't know why I wasted that turn doing that. Technically speaking, we probably could have ended up taking him out, had I just attacked. But for the sake of being safe, I just went ahead and, healed. And of course I jacked that up so it does like no damage. I believe this time though, I go ahead and ignore the arm this time because I'm like, well, the arm isn't going to do me any good, so I just go ahead and attack. And that's a cool little animation there. I don't remember if it had any cool sound effects or anything, but don't worry about it for the most part. And then we have our little cool animation of him just burning alive. Whoa! It's dangerous here. Let's go back. Come on, Shauna. Are you alright? I like the look Rose has here, like kind of like a, Rose! Rose, run! She's kind of like, it's as if she's kind of like, well, whatever, it'll probably be fine. And I love that sinking claw, that's just like the coolest thing ever. Alright, well, I'm gonna get back to the regular, so I'll see you later. Bye. Hey guys, and welcome back. This is my live recording now. So there was no sound or anything in the last 2 videos because my settings were erased for some reason. I don't know what to do because I already saved over those saves thinking everything was okay. So I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I can't even think of like creative little like songs or anything to put over it because they would kind of take away from the mood of the game. Anyway, let's just get our stuff here. Gotta level up. Awesome. I'm just if we go try to go back. Nothing. Okay. Anyway, this is the end of the episode, technically. I just had to add this on. I am so sorry. I don't know how I could have ever missed that because I always check. And I swear I remember seeing it showing everything, working. But I guess I didn't look closely enough, and so I'm very sorry that you missed everything. I'll try my best to figure something out, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Till then, bye.